I know the situation looks hopeless, but on the upside, the world has seen far worse, so this too shall pass. The only question is how. What will it take to restore peace in West Asia? How can the region return to normal? There is no silver bullet to fix this conflict, but a few steps will help. The first and most pressing one is this: a ceasefire in Gaza. The fighting has been going on for more than 6 months. It has killed more than 30,000 Palestinians, and that is the root problem here. Israel has set itself a very ambitious goal in Gaza to eliminate the Hamas. But experts say that could be impossible. Just consider the current situation. Israel spent months fighting in the streets of northern Gaza, but then they moved south, which gave Hamas time to reorganize. Reports say they are re-establishing themselves in the north. Plus, Israel's army could be overstretched. They have spent 6 months in urban war zones, and now they face threats from Iran and Hezbollah, so Israel needs to take a call. Do they go ahead with the invasion of Rafah? Do they refocus on the north? Or do they pursue a ceasefire? Because one thing is clear, the current strategy is not working. Israel is nowhere near getting the hostages back. Dozens of them are presumed dead. So a ceasefire is the need of the hour. It would reduce the pressure on Israel's government. It would also put the focus back on Arab-Israel normalization. Which brings us to step 2, more communication and shuttle diplomacy. And this is very important during conflicts. If communication is not clear, there will be miscalculations, and miscalculations lead to more conflict. I'll give you 2 examples from this standoff. First, before Israel's strike on Iran's consulate in Syria, reports say they told no one about it, not even the Americans. Only moments before the attack did they alert Washington, that too not to discuss but to inform that they're going to strike. And now officials are regretting it. They say the attack was a miscalculation. The second example is before Iran's response. Tehran says they informed the US about the impending attack, and look what happened. 99% of the drones were shot down. So communication and calculation is key. Sometimes they avert conflict. Sometimes they can minimize the impact. But Netanyahu does not seem interested. So far, he's ignored his allies and partners at all stages, whether it's the Gaza war, or the war in Lebanon, or now in Iran. Which brings us to the third step: a possible rejig in Israel. Netanyahu's popularity is nearing rock bottom. Around 76% Israelis want him to resign, and you can see why. He has no plan to get the hostages back. He has started a seemingly endless war in Gaza. He has triggered a conflict with Iran, and he has alienated his Western allies. So perhaps Netanyahu has to go. Perhaps a new leadership can give Israel a fresh start. Someone who can heal the country, someone who can reassure Israel's allies. Which brings us to step 4. American policy must change. Right now, it's rooted in hypocrisy. The Americans give military aid worth billions to Israel. Israel uses that to flatten Gaza. Then the same America offers humanitarian aid to Gaza. How does this policy make sense? And finally, step number 5, probably the most important step of them all: a 2-state solution. Palestine must become a sovereign country because it would trigger a chain reaction. Saudi Arabia would likely recognize Israel. Armed Palestinian groups would lose their rallying call. And a strong Arab-Israel alliance could emerge. One that would surely deter Iran. I know it's a long shot right now, but it's also a sure shot. And some of these steps cannot wait because the events of this week have created a new equation in West Asia. Iran says it could review its nuclear doctrine. Publicly, Tehran has ruled out making a bomb, a nuclear bomb, but a review could change that. The regime could actively pursue a bomb. Same with Gaza. An offensive in Rafah would be deeply traumatic. It would force Arab states to abandon Israel completely. So time is of the essence. Israel needs to think beyond ego and narrow political gains. It needs to think about its future. Does it want to be surrounded by enemies and rivals forever, or does it want to live in peace?